Started. Call the meeting to order. Okay, I want to remind everyone of the city staff's core values. It's strong work ethic, problem solving, community oriented, shows professionalism and integrity, is a team player, is accountable, and is a good steward. Roll call, please.
Waller?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Okay, first thing on the agenda is the approval of the meeting agenda. Everybody have a chance to review that, and can we have a motion? Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Kelly?
Yes.
Waller?
Yes.
Waller?
Yes.
Clyde? Yes.
Okay, the consent agenda, it's the minutes of the December 16th regular city council meeting. Payment for contract services, and I think there was 17 Bolton and Mink and one EOC for a total of $126,850.14. Claim register and financials of $995,356.62. And we've got a whole bunch of licenses and permits. Following applied for retail alcohol licenses. SRMR LLC or the Crooked Rail for a Class C alcohol license with outdoor service privilege. Casey's for the store on First Street. Casey's for the store on Sumas Avenue. Those are both Class E retail alcohol license. And the Fairway store on Willis also one's Class E. The fire and police inspections have all been completed or on file. And then the following have applied for a new device retailer's license that just became law. So the Shop and Go LLC or Smoke Time, Carol's Tobacco Outlet Plus LLC or DBA Smoke Plus. Both one of those is on First, one on Willis, and then Tobacco and Vape Store Inc., DBA Greenleaf Tobacco and Vape. That's also on First Street. So could I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? I'll second. Any discussion?
Did you want me to tell you a little bit about that new law?
It would be good. I read the
So,
paper, but
yeah, as of January 1st, glass or metal devices used for like smoking or things like that you need to register and have a license to do so. So as long as there was not a lot of information put out to the cities, but the business would apply for the license with the state and then the city would then approve it. But there's really the approval process. I've checked with the state. Basically, it sounds like if they have a license, if they already have a permit, then we need to approve this. It's like, that sounds like the only stipulation that there is, that they have a
and
license.
the licensing fee gets paid to the
They
state.
get,
I
the license
understand.
fee
So-
gets paid to the state, and then there's a 40% excise tax. That we don't know if anything at all is going to come back to the city, except like local option sales tax. So, yeah,
Okay, yeah, I was talking to somebody and they were talking about glass and metal pipes. And I'm thinking, we don't use glass pipes in here, do we? So it's complete, we're not talking about street repairs, you know? So, okay. No other discussion? Can we have roll call, please?
yeah, Wally,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Waller.
Yes.
Okay, city administrators report.
Just to clarify, those pipes are for tobacco use. Glass and metal tobacco pipes, right, Susie? Yes, so, kind of the larger things going on right now, in the beginning stages of the budget process. So I think pretty much all of our departments have their initial capital requests in. So we're going to be starting to work through those and have conversations. And then in the next week or two, Susie will start putting together the operating budget side of things and start to have those conversations with departments and coming up with strategies to make everything work. So we did receive already some good news that our Wellmark renewal came in at a 0% increase this year. So that was surprising given the history we've had the last few years of our health insurance renewal. So that was good news. And outside of that, just kind of really going to be looking at revenues and expenditures like always, looking at opportunities for new revenues as well as making sure that we're all doing the most efficient job possible with the funds that we do have. Speaking of which, the legislative session started last week, state legislative session. So every Friday, the Iowa League of Cities sends out the legislative link, which I forwarded last week. So far, it looked like there's a couple of good or helpful bills to cities that were included in that. But a lot of legislators are talking about property tax reform, so definitely staying engaged in those conversations with our state legislators as well as the Iowa League of Cities and others. So it's still very early in the session, so I'll save other wild stuff for later as it comes out. But definitely keep in contact with legislators as we move through the session. You know, in the last few years, we built a pretty good relationship with both Representative Nordman and Senator Green. So that's been helpful, at least to be able to kind of have that line of communication and conversations around things that are being discussed at the state capitol. So yeah, that's kind of the big things that we've been working on since forever, but since the last time we convened.
Any questions for Sven? Thank you. So I guess I need to wish everybody a happy new year since we didn't have a first meeting this year and it's the first time we got together. So glad everybody made it through that. Wanted to talk about the Festival of Trees. Wanted to thank Katie and Laura for the great job they do in setting that up and anybody else who was involved with them. And I want to thank all the community volunteers who helped set up displays over there because I think it was really well received as usual. They had a record number of trees and I didn't hear that the number of visitors, but I'm hoping that was up also. But it was a lot of fun and thanks to them because I'm sure it takes a bit of effort to get people like me to commit and get in there on time to set them up and on time to tear down. So a little bit hounding, but thank them for that. Remind everybody that Burr Ride is coming up. I'm certainly hopeful that the weather gets this cold spell out of its system before then, because I don't want to find anybody laying in ditches between here and Woodward, half frozen, but and no frostbite and that. But it's usually a good fun time, and so hopefully everybody will be prepared for a good time with that. And that was about all I had to report on. Anybody in the council want to bring up anything?
Happy Martin Luther King Day. No.
No.
Rippy.
Rippy, yes, okay. Yeah, that's the alternate ride. Some people ride to Boughton instead of to Rippy as a protest, I guess. I don't know what, but don't like the crowd. So sorry about that. So shame on me. Have you heard anything from Habitat?
I
Got any
think that they've
applicants?
got some applications in, but I have not heard
Good.
if they've made any decisions.
Good.
So
Okay, with that, we'll go to open forum. So at anybody that is here would like to come up and speak, you'll need to state your name and address for the record, and then you will be given 3 minutes to address the council. So please come up.
Hi, my name is Adriana Jimenez, and I live at 1204 Ash Street in Dallas Center. I'll try to fit all this into 3 minutes, but I'm here to talk a little bit about my Girl Scout Gold project. I'm from Troop 468 out of Adel. And yeah, so I'm here to just propose that to you and hopefully maybe get permission to take action with this project in Perry. I'm going to hand out a couple things for you guys to look at while I'm speaking. So yeah. That's just a little visual. It's not super realistic, but just my kind of idea, and this is a bunch of pictures from previous installation of these signs. So, I actually did something similar to this project last year. But I had just installed the signs in my community, Dallas Center, starting at the trailhead, heading towards Minburn and Waukee. So I call it 10,000 Steps to Wellness. Basically, it's a set of 6 signs that stretch 2.5 miles along the bike trail. Each sign is put half a mile apart, and it actually estimates the amount of steps you take. So the first sign, it says start here. It gives a little bit of idea of what the signs are there for. And then the rest will say 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 steps. And then once you reach the 5,000 sign, you can turn around and walk back. And that is because it is recommended to get 10,000 steps a day. So I think this would be important, and I think it would benefit the bike trail here in Perry because, you know, when new things are exciting, so, seeing that happening, people are going to want to get out, see the trail, see what's going on, just, use it for that. And, so yeah, it was super successful in Dallas Center when I did it, a way back. I actually talked to, Dallas County Conservation, and they helped me actually install those and place the order when I did that previously. And this year, they just as much support, gave the thumbs up with that. But because I'm not doing just my town anymore, my goal is to get at least 2 different towns. But with the 2.5 mile stretch, it can go out of city limits, which is why, I needed to talk to city council. My first community that I talked to was Adele, and they loved the idea. So that's, I'd be focusing on that first. It would be, you're probably thinking it's, money. That's important. For the projects, it's like around 1,000-ish, in each community. I have 1,378 funded, as of now, and that's through, I do a lot of face painting. I'm sure you guys know Lindsay here, but actually the reason why I wanted to invest in Perry is because, Perry has supported me with so many projects since I was an itty bitty Girl Scout. I've been doing face painting for the Perry Chamber and the Perry Public Library. And so, it's just been super, super supportive. I also grew up here. My dad works at Raccoon Valley Bank, and so I just think it would be awesome to take action here in Perry. So like I mentioned before, the Dallas County Conservation is all good about it. Adele has already approved it. So, this is just my second target, hopefully. Another big thing other than money is location. That's entirely really up to you guys if you do decide to allow this project to be installed here in Perry. But my only opinion, I think just because installing previously, I had it at the trailhead in Dallas Center, that it would be cool to have it in the trailhead here in Perry near like the train caboose and like the library. It's very accessible. There's, it's, people can see it, so when they see things are going on, they get curious and will want to take part in that. And obviously, if you guys have any preferences on locations, that's fully up to you guys. And, I'll open the floor to you guys in a moment just to share your opinions on that. Yeah, so trailhead heading northwest towards Dawson is what I was thinking. But yeah, so I'm really here just asking for permission to take action. I'm also asking for help. With all of the funding, it's super hard to get that amount of money just with, I only have so much. I face paint, I sell Girl Scout cookies. I got really lucky with Kiwanis and Adele, and they donated $500, so that was a huge boost. But with the amount I have now, I need about 700 more to be able to do Adele and Perry. So if you guys have any ideas of how I could get some of that financial support, in the community, that would be super great. And, it's not just financial. That's really what I'm focusing on now because I haven't quite taken action yet, but also just the physical labor of installing signs, just having help doing that. But yeah, that's that's really all I have for you today. I will recap a little bit of why I'm here. I'm here for permission to take action. I'm here to ask for help financially and, with installing. And I want your guys' opinions on location if you guys are interested in that.
Thank you very much. Any questions, comments?
Are you a 501c3?
501c3. Yes. I was like, oh.
So we can donate and claim it.
Yeah.
When is cookie season?
It's actually just starting.
Okay,
Yes, yes. I
perfect.
just got my my cookie sheet today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you bring them?
Oh, no. Oh, that's the thing. We take orders for a certain amount of time and then we get our cookies. But if you guys are interested, definitely hit me up because it's that time of year.
So we will probably, I don't know, we could maybe copy those quick or scan them quick after the meeting if you stay the whole time, or we can get you Liz's information. We'll probably chat with our Parks and Rec director about thoughts on locations. And then Josh has been giving me the nod that Public Works would be happy to help install them.
Okay, that's
So
yeah.
we'll work with Public Works on signage and then probably resolution approving the installation of the signs along the trail. So we'll get either Liz's contact to you or get your contact to Liz so that we can kind of work through some of that stuff, but sounds okay. Cool.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. If not, we'll.
I can't remember who I sent it to, but I know I sent it out to somebody.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to double check that on my part.
Perfect. So we'll be in touch so you can come back and get all of our cookie orders and do a resolution. Just back your car up to the back door when they arrive. So, sounds like a cool project and
I think so too.
Super
And
cool.
there are
initiative.
quite a few
Thank you. Community groups in town that may be willing to help fund you if you
Yeah.
put some little something together and can send it out to the Rotary and the Kiwanis and stuff here.
And I was also thinking that this could be something that Dallas County Public Health Department either has funding for, or could help you find funding for, but that was one idea I had. So Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
you bet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay. Anyone else for open forum?
Just real quick, Lindsay with the Perry Chamber, 1124 Willis. Just giving a brief update for upcoming events with the chamber and different projects. Obviously, we have Burr. Thanks, Mayor, for giving a shout out to that for the bike ride to Rippey. And you'll be getting your packet here pretty soon because we just mailed them out on Friday. So we just mailed out the first 300. We're at 340 right now for registration. We'll anticipate another 100 or so coming in this next week. I'll be at the Iowa Bike Expo this Saturday promoting Perry and the trail and Burr. And then it's already Saturday, February 1st. Then the next weekend we have the 22nd annual chocolate walk. And then one other update I had, we have the Perry Business Support Grants through the IRDC grant funding, which the city supported as well. So we had 16 applicants with requests totaling 111,563. Total grant funds right now are 68,604. So that committee will be meeting next week with some decisions to be made with that gap there. So we'll continue to search for other funding sources, other programs out there that can support these businesses. So that's an update for the chamber.
Thanks. Good. Thank you.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Anyone else? Okay. First item on the agenda is a public hearing on a proposal to enter into a loan and disbursement agreement. It's basically to roll some new project money into the existing sewer tax revenue bond. It's going to be an amount not to exceed $30,014,000. And I'm sure we'll hear more about it during the information. So if I get a motion well, I guess we just open the public hearings at 6:20. Susie, you want to open it, Sven?
Go ahead.
Tag team it?
Yeah.
I'll talk and then you can correct. So this is our state revolving loan for the wastewater treatment plant. If you remember, seems like ages ago, we were successful in a sponsored project application. And at that time, we included both the Iowa Street Wetland Project and the downtown project in that application. With timing of downtown versus the Iowa Street Wetland Project, you cannot draw on the funds until both of the projects have been bid and awarded and the state has checked off on them. So with the downtown project taking a little bit longer to get going than anticipated, we're going through the process to amend the loan with just the Iowa Street project for those sponsored project funds. So the total loan amount has increased, but the payments will stay the same because the loan for the sponsored projects is offset with a difference in the interest rate. So basically the sponsored project cost is offset with a lower interest rate rather than us paying all of that interest to go towards that sewer loan for the plant. So it does not affect the total amount that we are paying back. It increases the loan, decreases the interest, and it's a wash. So
That's right.
Susie will be buying me Girl Scout cookies for getting that right. So, yeah, that was kind of part of that whole process that we went through with the sewer plant, coming up with those projects for stormwater quality for the sponsored projects. And then with the Iowa Street Wetland Project just about done, I think we have a project fund balance that will be able to make a pretty significant draw as soon as all of this is approved and signed off by the state. So that will,
We should be able to just do it all in one.
perfect. So Susie is excited for that.
Yes. That's great.
Anybody on the council have any other questions?
So how did you manage to borrow more money for no more money?
It's magic. No, that's part of the whole SRF state revolving loan process. Also, I think we were probably one of the last
Yeah.
um, communities and loans that the state appropriated funds for water quality to go into this program to offset the costs. So this program actually does not exist anymore for future sponsored project funds. So we were able to get our $1.6 million. So
Any public comment?
this is when you cheer and clap.
Yeah.
Okay, no other comments. We're gonna close the meeting at 6:24. Okay, now on to old business. So item A is a resolution authorizing and approving of loan and disbursement agreement, providing for the issuance and securing the payment of taxable sewer revenue bonds, series 2025, and authorizing the related reduction of the interest rate and loan forgiveness of the taxable sewer revenue bond, SRF, series 2021. Again, it's what we just discussed. We're going to add the principal amount of $1,615,000 with the corresponding interest rate reduction. And we're going to add that to the existing outstanding loan of $28 $1,900,000. Yes. Okay. So could I have a motion, please?
Make a motion, we pass this resolution.
Second.
Thank you for that. Any discussion?
Item A.
Okay. Roll call.
Walling,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Waller.
Yes.
Okay. Item B is resolution authorizing the signing and acceptance of the Resource Enhancement and Protection Grant REAP. We are getting another REAP grant. Last one we got let us buy the property for the future campground. Now this one is to fix put a couple new pedestrian bridges across Frog Creek down at Petty Park. So we were notified that we will be receiving 100,000, and we need to guarantee that we will put up an in-kind or cash that won't exceed 30,000 for this. And if we sign this, it allows me to sign all the documents necessary to receive such grant. A motion, please.
I'll make a motion to pass resolution authorizing the signing and acceptance of the Resource Enhancement and Protection REAP grant.
I'll second that.
Okay.
But we're singing.
Yeah.
Additional comment?
So I think it was probably in August that we, city council approved the application to REAP, the REAP program for this. So $100,000 from REAP and then in kind and cash for the installation of the bridges.
Now, these are the bridges that are by the band shell and then further south.
Yes, yep. So I believe one is an old train car and the other is miscellaneous, but both rather outdated and rather sketchy, but will be a nice kind of addition to the work that has been going on in Frog Creek and the park in general. So we're excited to get this approved so we can get going, get the bridges ordered and on their way.
Any
A
other
little
discussion?
bit more modern construction.
Yes.
And nicer looking. Okay. Roll call, please.
Yes.
Waller.
Yes.
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Scott,
Okay, item C is a resolution approving an employment agreement with Police Chief Archer. It has been sent to both the hiring committee and the city attorney, and they all don't have any issues with it. So could I get a motion, please?
I make a motion, we pass a resolution approving an employment agreement with Police Chief Archer.
Second.
Any discussion? Anything you want to say, Chief? You happy with it? Okay.
From what I understand, it's pretty, not that you would ever plagiarize, but very similar to Chief Vaughn's employment agreement.
Yeah.
So,
Very similar.
not that we would ever copy and paste.
Change the name.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Okay, item D is approval of a change order number 3 for the Iowa Street Stormwater Wetland. It's in the amount of $24,251.52 to for some additional erosion control and seeding. That's the area out at the airport. Moves completion date from November 29th to May 16th. This will allow us to do a little seeding and plugging in the spring. And they're all eligible for SRF fund costs. So I have a motion, please.
Motion to approve change order number 3 for Iowa Street Stormwater Wetlands.
Second.
Discussion.
So this change order is more just balancing out those two items with the material of change order 1 where we approved. The material is really saturated, so instead of them being able to stack the material, they had to lay it out, dry it, and then stack it. So the site that they were planning on using doubled the quantity there. And then there was just additional silt fence around it to make sure that there was no runoff in the adjacent properties. So That's a lot of what that's for.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Scott.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Shelley.
Yes.
Scott. Waller.
Yes.
Yes.
Then we have item number E is approval of pay application number 9 for the Iowa Street Stormwater Wetland. This is in the amount of $51,000, $283.76 to Sandstone Management Ltd. Inc. It's for the completion of seeding of the exposed areas and hydro mulch stabilization. We're at 97% complete, so hopefully one of these days we'll be able to quit talking about this one. But it has been reviewed and signed off by the engineer who recommends approval. So can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion, we approve pay application number 9 for the Iowa Street Stormwater Wetland.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
They're nearing completion, and then to back up on one of the items in the change order, the original completion was November 29th of this year. With the heavier rains we had at the end, the bays did fill up with water. They were unable to get pumped down because they did freeze at that point. So we did extend it to May 16th. That is gonna allow them about a month window in the spring to get them pumped down, get the final seeding down in the lower areas, and then install the planting plugs around it. So that's kind of the synopsis of it. They wanted it to be May 1st, but we wanted to make sure all the frost was out, no chance of a hard frost coming. We want the long successful nature of the plants to take place, so.
Sure.
And this payment is just kind of to balance out where they've sat to finish out the year. Yeah.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Wallen.
Yes.
Waller.
Yes.
Yes.
White. Yes.
Okay, item F, approval of pay application number 7 for the Frog Creek Restoration. It's in the amount of $21,971.51 to Iowa Earthworks for seeding and stabilization on the designated areas. They're about 80% complete. And with approximately 62% of the contract value authorized, change order will be forthcoming to balance out all the completed items. And so pay application number 7 has been reviewed and signed by the project engineer recommending approval. I have motion.
I make a motion, we approve pay application number 7 for Frog Creek Restoration.
Second.
Okay, discussion.
So this one was a little bit more confusing, but I wanted to make sure it was in kind of a breakdown. The project is 80% physically complete. The project funds are 62% spent. And then that is due to the amount of rock, just as you place it, you don't know. They were very diligent in where they placed it, making sure it was very to the plan of the section. There was a large reduction in that. So we're balancing that through with the contractor currently, that there will be a reduction change order to come, kind of establishing where those actually as-built quantities sit, kind of reestablishing all the other items, balancing it down for Susie and everybody to track through. But that was a very positive in terms of this project, not knowing how much would be sucked into the banks of the creek. So.
There comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Waller.
Yes.
Waller.
Yes.
Scott.
Yeah.
White. Yes.
Okay, item G, approval of pay application number 5 for Willis Avenue overlay. It's in the amount of $2,389.83 to Des Moines Asphalt and Paving for the completed project. Project checklist is completed and everything's been submitted to DOT for the closeout audit. And has been reviewed and recommended for approval by the project engineer. Motion, please.
Second.
So this is the payment for everything they've completed. It's kind of a clerical payment. The change order and what we thought was the final payment of the process. We noticed that the change order item never got paid out. So as we were going through that audit paperwork, it was just making sure that the balances worked in. So DOT is aware of that. We're getting that submitted, get all the paperwork over to them. Once we give them the paperwork, they'll go through all of our audit checklists, and then we'll start drawing down the retainage and doing that closeout process with the DOT.
Cool.
Other discussion? Roll call.
Klein. Yes. Shelley.
Yes.
Waller.
Yes.
Yes.
Scott.
Yeah.
Okay, item H, is approval of GX 01 for CDBG contract number 23 WS 017. It's amount of $2,445. For the water sewer grant contract number 23 WS 017. It's for the downtown improvement phase 1 project and is authorized Region 12 to administer the grant per resolution 090324A. That motion, please.
Make a motion, we approve GAX 01 for CDBG contract number 23 WS 017.
I'll second.
Discussion?
CDBG grant administration for the downtown project. I want to say that was 500,000 CDBG or 6? I think 5. Yeah.
No discussion? Okay, roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, next is approval of GX 05 for CDBG contract number 23 HSGU 004. It's amount of $56,688 for the upper story grant to the Nudgers at 1306 Second Street. And per resolution 041723B. Have motion, please.
I make a motion, we approve GAX number 5 for CDBG contract number 23 HSGU 004.
Discussion? So if you drive by the back, it's been tore up. They connected the sewer and, or the electric and the gas to the building, but since then, Mid-America has changed their mind and doesn't want to use the stub out that they put in. So we're gonna have to tear the street up again this spring, but if you drive by there, they've worked on the decks about finished in the back. They're bringing in the heating air units. Have they purchased all that? Got most of their inside fixings purchased and are inside working on trying to get things ready to pour slurry and start really working inside in earnest. All the framing's done and I'm sure they would be happy to give anyone a tour that would like one at some time.
I would like to.
Just let us know.
Yeah.
Set something
I
up.
haven't seen it for a while.
Okay. But it's finally starting to move thanks to the state and EPA for the grant, because it probably would have still been sitting like it was had we not gotten this, so. But so hopefully next time we'll see a little higher amount. They didn't get much done over the holidays with the weather and the holidays, so the next grant won't be too much, but they're going after it again now, so. Good. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Okay, item J is approval of revised GAX 01 for contract number 22 ARDPH 046. This is the amount of 600,000 and it's drawdown for 1203 Second Street, which is owned by Sheffer Enterprises LLC above the Tin Pig. And this is revised because the state only wanted to do one drawdown instead of multiple, so we combined things and they're putting in a matching amount of 750,000 to this one. So, that motion, please.
Should approve revised GAX number 1 for contract number 22 ARDPH 046.
Okay. Any discussion? Guess they're getting pretty close. They were putting appliances up the other day and they're just waiting for a substation to go in across the alley and a new water connection for their sprinkler system because the existing one doesn't have enough to power that up. So they need a 6-inch cut in the street and they got to wait for the right weather to do that. So be interesting to see those going up for rent here soon.
In the coffee shop.
Very soon. Okay, any other discussion? Roll call?
Yes.
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 Okay, item K is a resolution approving amendment number 1 to the local planning and administration assistance contract number TA 2403 with Region 12. It's the contract awarded for the IEDA Downtown Housing Grant Project number 22 ARPDH 046. The amendment to Article 5 for such contract language to be time performance. This resolution would approve amendment number 1 to that contract and update and completion on or before to March 31st, 2025. We could have a motion, please.
Make a motion, we pass a resolution approving amendment number 1 to the local planning and administrative assistance contract number TA 2403 with Region 12.
I'll second.
Discussion? You gonna be able to finish that by
March
March
31st?
31st?
Well, they
Good
have their
practical.
state money spent by March 31st.
Okay.
So,
Good.
yep. And this is for the contract with Region 12. I believe they got a contract or a grant extension at some point, so this is probably just cleaning up the admin contract.
Any other discussion? Roll call?
Walling,
Yes.
Lawler,
Yes.
Klein. Yes.
Okay. Now on to new business. Item A is a discussion on Mid-America franchise agreement. It will expire in April of 2025. We want to approve an ordinance that would extend that agreement for another 25 years. The current agreement contains a 2% franchise fee, and we're proposing that be increased to 4% to be consistent with the increase we put in at Alliant when we renewed theirs a year or so ago. And so, could I have a motion, please?
It's a discussion.
Oh, Mid-America franchise.
Motion to discuss. To discuss, not to approve. Okay. So moved.
Move.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay.
Whatever.
So just discussion and then I guess we'll put it on the next.
Do we need a roll call?
Oh,
No.
Okay.
okay.
So after discussion, if council would like to make a motion and a second on approving setting the public hearing with that specified percentage, that's allowable after discussion. So,
Yep.
Right. So this goes back kind of to the conversations we had when we increased the Alliant Energy electric franchise fee. And at that time, we had discussion about increasing gas, but I think it was close enough that we just decided to wait until the renewal time. And I think that's where Tyler comes in, where we need to thank him for reminding us for a while to get this done. So kind of because of timing with the public hearing notice and everything, we wanted to instead of publishing or sending in to be published a public hearing by 10 a.m. on that Monday and then having council discussion later that evening, we wanted to have discussion and direction on whether to keep it at 2% or have it match the Alliant Energy franchise fee at 4%. So I think back when we were talking about Alliance franchise fee and increasing that to 4%, it was kind of on our radar that it would make the most sense to increase this to 4% when the renewal came up. Just for, doing it once and extending that time as long as possible. So that's kind of where we stood with, doing it this time frame. It's a little bit before budget to have a little bit of a budget discussion, but just kind of some of Susie and I's preliminary looks at the taxable valuation that came from the county. We will be looking at needing additional general fund revenue. So that additional 2% would provide about $50,000 additional revenue to the general fund for future fiscal years. So I think it's staff's recommendation to publish that public hearing at 4%. But we still have the public hearing and readings to go through. But just kind of wanted, for time's sake, to get it on this agenda so that we could set it, I think, for the 18th. Is that correct? So,
Let me make sure I understand this. Basically, we charge every Mid-American customer slightly more to pay for this funding or to pay for this fee, for the franchise fee.
Right now.
Right.
Yep.
And
25 years ago.
25 years ago?
Yep.
25 years ago, but yeah.
Oh.
Yes, so it would be increasing that 2% to 4%, like Sven said.
Mhm.
We have to have a public hearing, and then we also have to have, a statement that's published and stating, we'd be using it for
Yeah.
city funds.
But it's-
And then after that, then it'd be the ordinance readings.
Right.
And I think after it's published and official, it would take roughly 90 days for it to go through the billing cycle before anybody would see it. One of the things I did talk to the mayor about, and Tyler's gonna be getting me a list, there are a list of people that in the past have been exempt from paying the franchise fee. In the past, I don't think it has been as formal as I would personally like it as a state clerk. So I will be bringing back a resolution to the council, for a vote to see if you all want to continue with those exemptions or if you prefer seeing added to it, just so it's cut and dry. And it makes it easier for Mid-American when they do their billing to remove such franchise fees. So, for example, franchise fees are normally waived for city entities. We paid the franchise fee and we just paid it right back. So the cities are normally waived. I believe the hospital is currently waived, school is currently waived, and I believe Lease Industries is currently waived. I don't believe there's, but
Yeah.
Tyler is working on getting that. We just had that conversation at the end of the week, so I will be able to give you guys the exact listing of who is on it. And like I said, then that will be up for discussion, so. So that will be forthcoming. Even if we don't do the 4%, you guys say keep it at 2%, we still have to go through the process because our franchise fees do expire in April. And then, so we need to do that, and I would still recommend doing a resolution, just so it's very cut and dry on who's exempt from paying those franchise fees.
So this money, this 2% is just added to our general fund
Yes,
for just spending for whatever we want to use.
yes.
No definite.
Correct.
If I remember correctly, when we did the Alliant one, didn't we have a average cost per home or what it would be raised? Didn't we have some kind of number like that?
I don't think.
I want
we
to say
did.
we
That
just
was
kind of
the
looked at our,
Got that.
yeah, I think we just kind of looked at some of our staffs
Is that what it was?
bills
I remember that we
and-
had kind of a
or
number. of what it
whatever,
would
but
be.
yeah, if you,
Yeah.
if you're, have $100 gas bill, it would be
$2.
$2, increasing to 4.
Oh,
So
I don't need the math.
I
was
think,
just saying, yeah, I got
yeah.
it, yeah.
So, I mean, I know myself at my house on Mid-American on budget billing runs $50 to $75. So, not a huge monthly impact. But again, kind of premature for us to have like exact dollars for the budget discussion, but, we will be looking for additional revenues, and this is one that's been on our radar to look at. So, and then with the exemptions, I think, the Mid-American is a little bit different where they can exempt it from the bill when we give them a list, whereas Alliant Energy cannot do that in their billing system. So we do reimburse some entities for electric. So we'll probably want to look at both of those lists and how they work at the same time. That's, again, something that we were going to talk about in budget. So we'll be bringing that forward and kind of formalizing some of that. So we're re-looking at that.
Makes
but-
sense. So you're looking for a motion then to put this on the agenda?
No,
I-
we don't.
I think,
It was just to have discussion to feel the council out and see kind of what you guys were thinking or what. I mean, if you wanted to make a motion to direct staff to move forward with setting a public hearing with an increase of 4%, or make a motion to direct staff to move forward with the renewal, but you guys can do either if you wanted to.
yeah,
Do you agree with that, Gary?
So
Always
you-
check with the boss. and plan it.
Well, yeah. How should I say this, Dewey?
Make a motion to.
Make a motion to,
Public hearing for.
I think it's,
to set a public hearing for the first meeting in February.
second,
Yeah, so I'll just put down, Walling made a motion to direct staff to work on setting a public hearing. With 4%.
With the 4%.
I'll second that.
Increase to 4%, not 4% increase.
Yeah.
To
Yes,
4%.
Yes, okay. And while we're set, I'll make it really pretty when it goes.
Okay, sounds good.
No, I'll have it set. We'll actually have a resolution setting the public hearing and then also approving, the, is it a revenue? Yeah, revenue purpose statement, so.
Okay, make it pretty.
Got a second? Got a motion out there. We have a second?
Yep. I'll
Okay.
accept it.
Okay. Any discussion? Do you wait? Tyler, do
And-
you have? Okay.
I think this is still, like, this is very early in the process, so if there is more specific data on, I don't know what you can provide on average bills and what that monthly impact would be or not, or,
Yeah,
Um,
that's something I can take a look at and ask
so,
our billing team
yeah.
to see if they can get an
So-
average monthly gas bill for residential and commercial too.
okay,
It might be nice to have that information.
yeah,
I should hopefully have the exemption information this week too.
awesome.
Great.
And there was in the packet, kind of the areas around us, what their rates were, and most of them were at 4 or 5%, and
Yeah.
very few were
Looked like we were.
2 or less, so.
little
So
below.
we're not
And,
out of the ballpark here with other municipalities.
and I think it was in the last year or two, the state legislature allowed the city of Des Moines to go up to 6%. Otherwise, all other cities are capped at 5%. And maybe it was more than the city of Des Moines, but to be able to fund DART, the public transportation in city of Des Moines and suburbs. So that's like the one exemption to the 5% cap.
Can this be amended at any point in the 25-year period? This isn't locked in for 25 years, correct? Okay. Okay, right.
So the ordinance
That's
did
what I-
change and it didn't update the expiration date with them because they have just been updated shortly before I started, maybe like 2018-ish. if I remember correctly. So, yeah, so you can.
I figured.
Only thing I will say with that, with the franchise fee, we do have, there's a clause in there that states that, we like to limit changing the franchise fee to once every 24 months, 2-year
Sure.
period. Just because it's a lot of work. I mean, like I said, it takes us about 3 or 4 months to get everything, get all the new tariffs filed, billing.
Sure.
So it just takes a lot of work. That's all the reason. If you guys came to us in 20 months and said, hey, we want to change it, probably would have shut the door. We just have that in there just for.
Well, if you told us no, we'd just start our own municipal, natural gas frame, utility, right? So, no.
Okay.
Any other questions?
And-
Well, I understand, the exemptions for the city and school and the hospital. Private industry?
Crescent Library also has it on the line.
Uh-huh.
So, and when we were looking at Alliant, that's why I talked to
Yeah.
you about having that resolution in place because, I think it was very informal agreement from probably way before.
20 years
me and
ago?
way before
Yeah.
People on the council, if I don't had to make an assumption.
And we've,
So.
I mean, Liz, I don't think I did, but Liz, like, looked through Liz and Susie looked through like years of minutes to try and find anything, and we really couldn't find much of anything that addressed these topics of any forgiveness, so,
I'm not sure I still understand why we would do that.
I think a while back, it had something to do with Weiss and the foundry updating equipment, and going from natural gas to electric for the foundry maybe, and then, just kind of doing the same for the foundry that utilizes natural gas for their processes. But again, there was never really a formal direction or action that we can find that might be different for Mid-American since it goes to billing, but, and there, like, there's just kind of a understanding that we want to formalize. Because there was no time limit or dollar limit or anything like that. So again, that's going to be kind of part of that budget conversation of looking at, where we need to make adjustments. So,
Well, I would think that that would be just a cost of doing business. But,
yeah,
um,
well, and I mean, we've kind of,
And where do you draw the line?
yeah,
I mean,
and
yes,
we've,
they're big businesses and I get that.
This
You
is-
know, we don't want them to be pissed off,
yeah,
but
and I mean,
please,
there's a lot more to this conversation for that discussion, whether it's just a workshop or a council meeting, but that's also the perspective of, the school district having a larger tax base than the city. So city residents are kind of subsidizing that cost for, taxpayers outside of city limits. So that's historically we had forgiven or, waived building permit fees for the school, maybe the hospital, I can't remember. But again, kind of looking at it from that perspective of the hospital has a county-wide, taxable base. And the school district has a larger taxable base geographically. So kind of looking at it from that perspective too of, we're providing those essential services for those facilities, but not receiving that franchise fee. So that's kind of all encompassing of those conversations to have with that resolution of assessing exemptions.
Can we get a list of those exemptions?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Susan's working on it.
Cool.
I should have it this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
For a line, they're in the places. I can-
Tell us what that looks like. Yeah, okay.
Actually, send this lines. I'll show you.
All right, all right.
Okay, anything else? Okay, we have a motion on the table to set up the public hearing and get it on the agenda for next meeting, so.
So I have Walling for that,
yes.
Waller seconded,
Yes.
Yes.
Shot,
Yeah.
Incline. Yes. Thank you.
Thanks again, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Appreciate it.
Safe travels.
Okay, item B is resolution appointing a representative to the Heart of Iowa Regional Transportation Authority, Transportation Advisory Group, the HRTA tag. As we're a community stakeholder, we would like to recommend the library director, Misty Von Baron, to be appointed and Kayla Rothmeyer being appointed as the alternate. Could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion, we pass a resolution appointing a representative to the Heart of Iowa Regional Transit Agency Transportation Advisory Group. Misty.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
I think Misty's done this been on the list for a couple of years, so.
Roll call.
Yes.
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 Okay, resolution approving an urban renewal loan application, the amount of $10,000 to the city's urban renewal revolving fund to LMP Creative Spaces LLC owner Lindsay Pursuti. That's for the building located at 1215 Warford Street. The person of repairing and painting storefront and facade windows, replacing the front door and side light windows, tuck pointing and replacing needed bricks on the building, as well as installing a new exterior signage. This would direct staff to approve that loan and put all the documents together. Could I have a motion, please?
Make a motion to approve resolution approving urban renewal.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, so Lindsay has been patiently waiting for us to review this loan application and also getting bids and things like that. This is really the type of project that this loan program is intended for. Actually, maintaining and updating the physical structure of the buildings. Some of the loans we made in the past have been a little different from that in some ways, but this is, yep. This is really the type of projects that we want to see. So, you know, staff reviewed it. I think Liz, Susie, and myself went through it. And project looks great and excited to get the work done. I think windows are ready for a day that's not -20 outside, but yeah, so. Are there any questions for Lindsay? I think one other note, I think the balance currently is right around $118,000, so have plenty of room. We try and keep a little bit of a balance in there when looking at giving out loans, so we have plenty, but try and keep a balance in there just in case there would be an emergency that would come up that somebody, you know, needs a roof right away or something like that. But we have plenty of cushion, so we should be good to go on that side. Any
Discussion?
questions for Lindsay? I told her to come because council would have all sorts of questions, so.
So your door leaks, huh?
Well, as you know, 1215 Warford Street would be where my business is, Mary Rose Collective. Mary Rose Nichols had it for 18 years prior to me taking it on this last year. And so there's just some maintenance on old buildings. It's my favorite building downtown. There's lots of interesting character with it. So she replaced the door probably 20 years ago, you know, like 18 years ago, whatever. And it's only rated for 10 years. So it's been a while since we needed to update that. So it's actually, frame is still the same for the door. It's just new glass inserts. And then for the windows in the front, it'll actually be the same glass, but new wood frame around it. It's pretty deteriorated. And then paint from Perry Paint Glass. And then working to just not tuck point the whole side of the building, but just have identified some key areas that need some assistance. So just updating a cool old building downtown.
That'll be great. That's what the loan's for.
Great. Okay, roll call, please.
Yes. Smaller?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, item D is a resolution approving the application for the First Impressions Program. This is put on by Iowa State Extension Outreach. Helps communities strengthen their tourism economy and attract new residents and skilled workforce and enrich the quality of life. Basically, it's kind of like a secret shopper where people come in and look around the town and get their impressions and then write down what they think what they liked and what they think needs improved to attract more people in. Runs $2,000 for the program fee. So we think it's a good use for a little bit of money to get an outside opinion on our downtown area in particular. So could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion, we pass a resolution approving the application for the First Impressions Program.
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion?
So this is a program, I think 2024 was the first year, and this is the second year that the application is open. So Lindsay and I have talked about it previously. And really looking at this as an opportunity for us to really get that outside perspective. And I am hoping that this process will help kind of inform and provide, again, more of that external perspective when it comes to our destination marketing strategic plan work. So we're probably going to double dip in our steering committee of the folks working on the destination marketing plan, because part of the requirement for this program is that you have a committee made up of city leaders, private sector, business owners, hospitality, all sorts of things. So hoping to be able to kind of utilize one committee for both activities, but hoping to get in this year's round of communities. I think they're going to select 5 this year. So yeah. And if you get on and Google, Iowa State University Extension First Impressions Program, I believe last year's communities reports are on there. So if you can want to kind of see what they look at and the report that they get back, you can check those out.
Any other discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Walling. Yes. Scott.
Yeah.
Shelley.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Okay, item E is resolution setting a public hearing on a proposed vacation of public right of way. It's a portion of Roston Street, east of First Avenue and west of Second Street, along with the 1,000 foot of the south portion of the alley that runs between First and Second. It's good proposed to be sale to the adjacent property owner, Van Kirk Storage LLC, which would eliminate the divide between the parcels they own. It's no longer needed by the city, and the other adjacent property owners will be denied access to their will not be denied access to their properties. It will still have access to the alley via the north entrance. Planning and Zoning Commission during the January 14th, 2025 meeting held a public hearing on the matter, and after taking public comment and reviewing the proposed vacation, provided the recommendation on the vacation of a portion of said street. So the public hearing will be at the second February meeting, February 18th, 2025 at 6 p.m. at the Clarion Room of the Security Bank Building located 1102 Willis Avenue, Perry. You have a motion, please.
Make a motion, we pass a resolution setting a public hearing on the proposed vacation of a public right of way.
Discussion?
So,
Oh,
Molly's going to take it.
Molly's gonna take it.
Yeah, so this is between First Ave and Second Street, just north of the Foundry. The plan is to do the whole vacation and disposal process and then give it to the Foundry. Talk to city staff, Public Works, and Bolton and Mink. I don't know if you guys ever drive up that way and look to your, yeah. So part of it from the alleyway to Second Street, I think back in the 90s, the Foundry did a building addition and they ended up building onto the roadway. So you can't actually drive between alleyway and Second Street. So from our discussion, we decided that we no longer need that portion of the roadway. It doesn't really serve a throughway purpose. So we will go through the vacation disposal process, and then they will replat it with their 3 lots that they own just north of it to then have a parking lot. They want to increase the safety of their employees and not have to cross First Street from the lot that they own on the west side, so that they will get rid of the parking there and have it on this north parking lot. But the site plan and layout for that will come at a later date. This is just setting the public hearing for February 18th.
So far, has there been any discussion with the residents in that block?
No, so that's a great question. So per my conversation with Dewey, don't have to send a neighborhood notice right now, but was planning on going to for the public hearing on the 18th. Let them know.
And
So they
I believe-
purchased that property just north of the building on First.
Yep,
right?
so there's
Yep.
And they're
actually,
putting parking into that area?
yeah, so there's actually 3 lots,
Right.
and they own all 3 of them. I think over time there was 2 houses and then an old brick storage building.
Yep.
And over time they've had torn those down. And right now it's just empty lots.
I believe
They're
the
parking on the
van,
one on Second Street, but.
yep.
Yes,
But
on
they're
that,
not
yep.
doing anything right now. on
I believe the
First
Van
Street.
Kirks have talked to a few neighbors already, just to kind of get the temperature before they really spent a lot of time and energy, like
Yeah.
making preliminary plans, coming to us, starting this process. So, like Molly mentioned, I think over the past few years, and I think just last summer, they tore down the house on First Street. So, I think that was even probably a house on our list of, possible, ventures for compliance, but so yeah, over time, they've kind of acquired those parcels. There is, I believe, a 36-inch storm sewer under that Rawson that we would retain a utility easement to. So, and then there's some private utilities in there that they're working with on either relocating or having easements for those as well. So,
And those easements will come during the site plan process.
Are they gonna maintain that as a road? I know that they've got trucks that goes through there to drop materials.
yeah, I think with their addition, the work they did, what was that, 2020 or 2021, when we vacated Second Street and they were able to build over there. I think that really changed their process and flow of where things come in and out. So I don't think they really have much of any activity
I was gonna
there
say, I haven't
anymore.
seen they used to have trucks in there. almost
Yeah,
every
I
day,
think,
and I haven't seen them,
yeah,
but maybe
from what I
one or two of them.
remember, I think their sand used to be delivered
Yeah.
in that spot. And with the work and reconfiguring they did, now the sand is delivered on Old Second Street.
Yeah.
Which really, that was one of the main comments from the neighbors at the time they were looking at doing that expansion, is that sand and dust and noise. Because I think they came pretty early in the morning, so
Yeah,
I
they did.
think a lot of that has been alleviated with the new layout and flow of their operation. So again, their driving force behind this is really just to add parking on the east side of First Street so that their folks don't have to cross back and forth. And so, yeah.
They're gonna put the taco truck there.
Oh, that is a good question of where the taco truck will go.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, roll call?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and I need to apologize because I thought of one other thing that I should have done during the mayor's comments that I want to throw in here before we adjourn, and that Rotary Club every year gives out a Public Servant of the Year award. The nominations are due at the end of the month. So if you know of anybody that works for the city, the hospital, just any of the city departments, fire, police, any of those, there's applications over at the library. There's some upstairs and on the front desk there in our office. And be nice to get a bunch of applications, and they only honor one, but we can certainly give kudos out to the other people that got nominated anyway. So it's a good way of saying thank you to the people who work for the city. So sorry that was out of order, but I just wanted to finish that. So be no further business at 7:14, we will adjourn.